Joining me now is the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. Secretary Mayorkas, thank you so much for being with us. And you've got your hands full, so let's start with the border. Migrant numbers are exploding at the border. It's the worst we've seen in 21 years. And usually there is a diminution in the summer. Usually these numbers go down in the summer. Why are they continuing to surge? And what can you do about it? The messaging does not seem to take. People in the Triangle are not hearing the message, don't come.
We certainly have a challenge at the border. We have remarkable people to address that challenge and a plan in place that we are executing. Let me, if I can, share with you what makes the challenge so acute at this point in time. We are following an administration that frankly dismantled our capabilities to address it, and so we are building it from the ground up. We lost 4 years of investing in the countries from which these individuals are migrating. Our safe and orderly systems were torn down, and so we're rebuilding them. And our plan is in place, and we're executing it.
Do you have to change the plan, though, if it's not working?
Oh, we are. It is a dynamic situation, and we change and we modify as the needs require. We're investing in the root causes to address the reason why people leave their homes to take the perilous journey.
That takes years and years to change the situation on the ground.
Yes.
And the people involved, the migrants themselves, as well as the people living in those regions, are really in crisis.
And that's why that's only one part of the plan. We are also rebuilding the safe and legal and orderly pathways to come to the United States under our laws so they don't have to take the perilous journey and arrive in between the ports of entry. The Central American Miners Program that we've reconstituted and other paths. And we are addressing the situation at the border. We are the single adults who arrive at the border. The majority of them are being expelled under the CDC's Title 42 authority. We've addressed the challenge of the unaccompanied children, working with HHS to get them out of the Border Patrol stations as quickly as possible and in the care of the Department of Health and Human Services. And with respect to the families, they are being placed in immigration proceedings when they make their claims for asylum under United States law. And we are addressing that. And if they don't make their claim, then we are removing them in expedited fashion, as we announced on Friday.
Let me ask you about the separated families, because from our count, it's fewer than 100 have been reunited. Yes. Separated by the previous administration. Can you give us a hard number, and what more can you do to get those families reunited?
So we are really focused on this effort. The humanitarian need to be so focused is so extraordinarily compelling. We have a task force, an all-of-government effort under the leadership of President Biden and the First Lady, and we are meeting on a daily basis. We have started to reunify families, and we have built processes in place to effect the reunification. One of the difficulties is there was no record keeping of the separated families, and we're working on that as well as overcoming the fear that those families have of parents coming forward to a government that separated them from their children. We're overcoming that fear with community-based organizations, with civil rights organizations, to reach the parents and uniting them here in the United States or in their countries of origin at their option.
Do they have the option of staying in the United States? If you find some of the families, some of the parents who've been deported, can you bring them back and have them stay in the United States?
So we have committed to paroling them in the United States, which allows them to stay for a certain period of time. And we're looking for more durable solutions.
And can you give us a number on how many have been brought back together?
So it's more than 40 families have been brought together through our task force. And now that we have the infrastructure in place, the authorities and the processes, we're going to see that number accelerate over the coming months.
You referred to Title 42, which is the COVID rule imposed under Trump. It was supposed to expire July 31st. We're now into August. It's been delayed. And you've said it's a CDC decision, a public health decision. There's obviously the Delta variant. But is it also partly to stop adding more people on top of the surge of migrants?
No, actually, Title 42 authority is a public health authority. It is based on the facts and the science of the public health imperative, what is needed to protect the American people.
So you're extending it beyond July, or it's being extended beyond July 31st.
That is a decision within the Centers for Disease Control. It is not an immigration policy. It is not an authority that we in the Department of Homeland Security have.
Thanks for clearing that up. I want to ask you about Cuba, because you fled from Cuba as a boy. How do you feel about human rights groups, refugee groups criticizing you, Cuban Americans criticizing you for your messaging to Cuba and to Haiti? Don't come here. Don't try to get here illegally. Don't get on those boats, given your own family background.
So this is a very difficult topic for me personally. My family lost everything they had in Cuba, and we came here to the United States. And look where I am. Look where I am now. It's
an amazing personal story.
It's the power of America. The message that I communicated, the message that our administration is communicating is, one, we stand with the Cuban people. We deplore the repression that the authoritarian regime is exercising against the Cuban people. But we also deliver a message of humanity, which is do not take to the seas. You know, in 2 weeks' time, we rescued many, many families that tried to do that, and we saw 20 deaths occur in just a couple weeks. It's a perilous journey. It's an unsafe journey, and there's an orderly way to seek relief under United States law, and taking to the seas is not it.
Do you think there could be some way to let people in legally, to let more Cubans in if they, judging from the protests, if they now want to leave?
Well, we accept claims for asylum through the ports of entry. That is the safe, orderly, and humane way to proceed.
Let me ask you about DACA, the Dreamers program. The federal court has put it in jeopardy. There's some indications that you could change that through executive order, try to fix this temporarily, or do you think that it has to be done legislatively?
The durable solution for the youth that know no country other than America as their home is legislation, and we hope that Congress acts and provides relief to these youth.
Well,
but we can...
Can you do something by executive
we can
action?
Promulgate a regulation that we are working on, that we are committed to promulgating to fortify the DACA program. But really the durable solution, the enduring solution for these young people who are essential workers, who contribute so much to our country, is legislation.
And would you break it? Would the administration consider breaking it off and putting it in the reconciliation bill or in some other must-pass bill, rather than waiting for what is really a fantasy, which is comprehensive immigration reform?
The administration is committed to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. It is committed to immigration reform, and it is looking at the legislative tools that are available to it to get its mission accomplished.
So in a moment, we're going to be talking about extremism and domestic extremism, the new threats, new terror threats facing our country, cyber, all of the other things. Tell me, how does one agency do all of this? It's been nearly 2 decades since Homeland was created.
Yes.
After the aftermath of 9/11. Should it now be broken up?
I think we do it in one very straightforward way, through the tremendous dedication and talent of our workforce. That's how we do it.